What's up guys, Simply Coco here and welcome back to my channel. So today we are here with a speed build. This is another build for the base game. Actually, this is the first build you've seen for this. So this is a build that I'm doing for a base game save file that I am doing with a whole bunch of other simmers. So these are the same simmers that I'm doing the eco lifestyle save file with. Again, probably when I get to my last video for this save file, I will link all of their YouTubes and stuff like that so you can see the builds that they've been working on. I believe the save files will both be made public on the 9th of July. I think. I just know, I'm pretty sure our deadline is July 5th. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, I'll obviously keep you updated on that. So this is I'm calling it a Spanish inspired family home. So this house I'm building it in Oasis Springs. I should know the lot name because, oh, it's in the upper left hand corner, the lot name. Sand something flat. The playback screen that I'm watching it on, it's really tiny, so I can't really see it. But yeah, it is in Oasis Springs. Not sure of the lot size, maybe a 30 by 20. But yeah, it's a Spanish inspired family home. This house can fit 4 Sims, 2 adults that are, you know, married or whatever, and then 2 kids or 2 teens or whatever. The kids room, I decorated it for kids, but I mean, you could still have teens sleeping there if you wanted to. Maybe they just kept it, they just haven't redecorated yet or something. But yeah, so right now I'm just doing the exterior. I got the idea of having these very lush, I wouldn't really say it's a garden. I would say all of this is wild grown, but it's just kind of well kept. It's very well maintained. They didn't plant any of this here. It kind of was already there, but they keep it up. They trim it when it needs to be trimmed, and it's just very well maintained. So right when you walk into the house, you go into the living room. It's the very first room. This house has a very closed off floor plan. Nothing is very open. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a thing that Spanish homes have, if they're very closed off or if they're more of an open floor plan. I'm not sure. I didn't really look at many reference photos for interiors. I kind of just wanted to go in and make it, you know, do the best I could, because again, this was base game only, so I only had to use, I could only use base game items. So with that, since I could only use base game items, I didn't want to go and look at reference photos and try to copy reference photos to the T, because there'd be certain items that I couldn't use. So I kind of just went in and did, you know, whatever I could do with what base game has to offer, which, as we know, isn't much. But I mean, that's by design because they want you to buy other packs. But I mean, the base game for Sims 4 has been out for so many years that at this point they could go back in and just get rid of or refurbish every single base game item. That's probably a lot of work and probably an unrealistic expectation that I could ask for, but the base game items are, yeah, they're rough. Some of the items you don't realize you use a lot. I use a lot of the base game flowers without even realizing that they're base game. The saucer lights that literally every simmer uses because they're the best lights in the game, they're base game. Some of the best flooring, no, never mind. None of the best, base game doesn't have the best flooring, but nonetheless. Anyway, so after the living room, sorry, I don't know what that was. After the living room, you go into the dining room. as I said, this is a 4 sim household, so I only put a small table that is literally for 4 sims. Both bedrooms are accessible from the dining room. Um, I didn't necessarily think that made the most sense realistically, um, but the way the floor plan was, it they just had to both entrances to the bedrooms just had to go here. Um, I mean, they just did. So the door you just saw me place goes into the master bedroom, and then I initially put the door to the kids' room in the kitchen, but it just made the counters look funny, so I ended up moving their bedroom door um, to the dining room as well. And I don't mind it. The only thing is the bathroom that the kids have to use are on the other side of the kitchen, um, through kind of like the it's I decorate it as an office space, but it really could have been like a more formal living area, or the living area that was more relaxed, if you want to say the front one was the more formal one. But yeah, so the bathroom that the kids have to use is on the other side of the house, whereas the parents get a ensuite. It's just a 2x2 ensuite. It's nothing crazy. Um, but yeah, so I really like the idea of the kitchen being skinny like this. It's 3 tiles wide. Technically, like the room is 3 tiles wide, but they only have the 1 tile in the center to walk through. So if there's if there's ever 2 sims trying to walk in the kitchen at the same time, they might kind of like glitch together, because sims don't scoot through each other. But yeah, I kind of like the kitchen. I felt that was a really realistic type kitchen as well. But as you can see, I did have that door next to the counter, but I just didn't like how it made the counter look cut off, like it just stopped out of nowhere. So I got rid of the door, put it in the dining room, and then just made that counter go all the way across. So this is the kind of like study room, or well, not really study room, but office that I was talking about. It's on the other side of the kitchen, so you walk through the living room, you come in the front door through the living room into the dining room, which has access to the 2 bedrooms. Out of the dining room, you go straight through the kitchen to the other side, which then you get here, which is an office space. I imagine the dad or the grandpa that lives in this house currently works out of this office, or used to work out of this office. And now it's just kind of like the family computer room. I didn't have a particular storyline for this family, but I'm kind of sort of thinking of one as I'm doing this voiceover. So I'm doing the master bedroom now. Again, using only base game, it limits you a lot. Some people say it's not a challenge to use only base game, because there's still a lot you can do, especially if you know how to like customize your own furniture. And then some people say like it is a challenge just because the base game objects suck. For me, I'm kind of neutral. I can create a pretty nice looking house only using base game, but I still prefer to use all the other packs. That's just my opinion. This is my very first base game only build ever, like ever in the Sims period. Sims 4, Sims 3, Sims 2, like period. I used to never build homes. When I did, they were crap. When I was younger, it was so bad. I couldn't tell you anything that I've ever built. I don't remember, but it was probably just a box with a roof. How I got started building though is I would take a pre-existing build and just decorate it. I used to be a really bomb decorator. And then I just recently, like when I say recently, I mean within the last year and a half, maybe 2, is when I really got into Sims YouTube. I did not used to watch YouTube at all, period. But when I moved to Houston, which was almost 2 years ago, is when I really started delving into all of YouTube, and then I found Sims YouTubers, and now I love it. And literally, y'all, just watching Sims YouTubers helped me learn how to build in The Sims. It just did. Like I got inspiration from a lot of the things that they would do in their videos, their tips and their tricks and their tutorials, and then the best thing to do is find a reference photo and just go for it, off of Pinterest or Google or something like that. But yeah, but what I wanted to say before I got off on that tangent was, excuse me, the base game objects really lend itself to a more kind of older aesthetic. So when I said the word grandpa when we were in the office, I was thinking this is maybe this house belongs to two elder Sims. They're probably like Mexican Americans, and or well, they were probably immigrants. Like they moved to Oasis Springs from Mexico, and then had children, and their children are American citizens because they were born here, and then their children had children. So I imagine this is the grandparents' house, and this kid's room is where the kids sleep when they come over to Grandma and Grandpa's house. So I imagine this belonging to a girl and a boy. I know I used two more boy colors, but the sky blue, I considered that to be, that can be a girl's color. So to kind of signify that she was a girl, I gave her the pink backpack, and I put the unicorn behind her bed. Sorry about the dog barking. Not really sure why he is. Anytime he hears something walk by or anything, the wind could blow and he's gonna bark. But yeah, now I'm just doing the bathroom. I literally copied and pasted everything from the ensuite, and then just added like a plant or something, because the bathroom that's off of the office, that would also be the bathroom that any guest that came over would have to use. So I just put the flower in there for a little bit of decoration. Now I am cluttering up the kitchen. So for this build, for the whole save file, we had certain rules, I guess you'd have to say, or certain guidelines that we had to follow. So for my, or I guess, assignments, we had certain assignments, and this was one of my assignments, obviously, because I'm doing it. And it was supposed to be a medium home. Not sure if a 2-bedroom home is considered to be a medium home, but it takes up the whole lot. The only way I could have made it any bigger was if I did 2 stories, and I just didn't see a need for that. So hopefully, I did okay. Hopefully this can be considered a medium-sized home. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so we do have these certain guidelines, but I did not have a cost restriction for this build. Like it didn't matter how many simoleons this build is. Now I do have a starter home assignment that I have to build in Willow Creek, and that one will be like I said, a starter home, and it has to be under 20k or under, I would assume. My assignment says under 20k, but I think it can be right at 20k, because no new household that you create is gonna have under 20k. I think it's 20k, and sometimes it's even more than that if you have more than a certain amount of Sims. But as you can see, I pretty much have furnished the entire backyard. I just gave them a little 4-seater table with a umbrella. I gave them 2 lounge chairs, a pool, obviously. I gave the grandmother some planter boxes, or granddad, it doesn't matter who likes to garden, it doesn't matter. I gave them a grill. I gave them 2 trash cans. Not necessarily one is recycling or anything like that, just when I grew up we had 2 trash cans, so I put 2. But as you can see, the screenshots are rolling. I will be back tomorrow with another episode or another part of Living Shared, and I will see you all then. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will always respond to your comments, and be sure to turn on that notification bell to know when I post videos, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!